In the heart of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, nestled on a quiet residential street, stood a modest two-story duplex. The kind of house where families planted flowers in the spring and sat on porches in the summer. But for the Smurl family, this house would become the site of 15 years of escalating horror, an unrelenting nightmare of invisible forces, malevolent entities, and a darkness that refused to be exorcised. The beginning had started innocently. In 1974, Jack and Janet Smurl, along with their two daughters, moved into the right half of the duplex. Jack's parents lived on the left side. The home was old but had character. For a working-class family, it was perfect. But soon, things began to shift. Water stains appeared on the walls, only to vanish the next day. Appliances broke without explanation and then worked again just as mysteriously. Footsteps echoed in empty rooms. Cabinets slammed shut in the middle of the night. At first, they blamed the house's age, but the activity grew bolder. Their German Shepherd was often found cowering in corners, growling at something no one else could see. Then came the putrid smells, sulfur, rotting meat, and stagnant water, filling the rooms without any clear source. Lights flickered constantly. Shadowy figures began appearing in the corners of their vision, vanishing when stared at directly. Janet tried to ignore it. Jack tried to reason with it, but the house had other plans. Escalation. By 1977, the benign disturbances gave way to something sinister. One night, as Janet did laundry in the basement, she felt a heavy, invisible force push her down the stairs. No one was there. Jack began having vivid nightmares. He'd wake up drenched in sweat, convinced something was hovering over the bed, breathing in his ear. He often awoke with scratches down his back, scratches he hadn't gone to sleep with. Their daughter, Heather, began sleepwalking. She would whisper to unseen figures and often woke up screaming, claiming the man with red eyes stood over her bed. The activity spread to Jack's parents' side of the duplex. His mother suffered a stroke, and his father began hearing disembodied voices telling him to harm himself. The Smurls, devout Catholics, turned to the church. They were told to pray, to bless the house, to stay faithful. They did, but only made things worse. The attack in 1985, the haunting reached its peak. Jack claimed he was sexually assaulted by a female demon, a grotesque creature with black skin, sharp claws, and glowing red eyes. He said it straddled him, choking him as it mocked his screams. Janet would later report a similar experience, paralyzed in bed as a shadowy form touched her against her will. The family also claimed to hear blasphemous whispers, guttural growls, and furniture dragging across the floor when no one was home. Religious statues shattered, crosses flipped upside down. The temperature would drop without warning. Terrified, they reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, world-renowned paranormal investigators known for their work on the Amityville Horror. The Warrens arrived. Ed and Lorraine entered the home with skepticism, but left with fear. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, claimed she immediately sensed a non-human presence, something ancient, hateful, and intelligent. They believed the home was infested with multiple spirits, including a dominant demonic entity that had gained strength over the years by feeding on the family's fear and suffering. The Warrens attempted several blessings and spiritual cleansings, with some temporary relief, but the attacks always resumed. Publicity and backlash news of the haunting went public in 1986 when the family story was picked up by local media. The Smurls were accused of fabricating the events for attention or to profit from a book deal. Paranormal skeptics and priests from the Scranton Diocese dismissed the claims, suggesting psychological explanations. But the family insisted they never wanted fame, only peace. As pressure mounted, Father Robert McKenna, a traditionalist Catholic priest unaffiliated with the diocese, agreed to perform an exorcism. Witnesses claimed that during the ritual, the room grew icy cold. Growls filled the air. A black mist rose from the floor, and Jack collapsed, seizing. The entity resisted violently, but eventually the activity began to fade. The aftermath: by 1989, the family moved to another town, hoping to escape whatever had latched onto them. For a time, it worked. The new house was quiet. But Jack never fully recovered. He struggled with depression and PTSD for years. Janet often woke up screaming. The children, now older, spoke rarely of what they saw. Those skeptics still dismiss the case. Others who have lived in the duplex since reported unexplained sounds, flickering lights, and cold spots, though never as extreme as during the Smurl stay. Some believe the entity was never exorcised, only dormant. Final words: the Smurl haunting remains one of the most disturbing and controversial cases in American paranormal history. Whether you believe their story or not, one thing is clear. Some houses are not just haunted. Some houses are hunting. Bell, if this story chilled you to the bone, there's more where that came from. Like, comment, and subscribe for weekly true horror stories that will keep you up at night. And remember, some stories are real. Are you sure you want to hear the next one?